All right, so as far as I can tell, between me and Ludi right now, I'm the meat tuber, right? Because this guy, at most, he's a bread tuber right now. But he's got all these freaking soy check. Okay, so Ludi, as far as I can tell, that means that you have to cheer for Lady Saffron and then for Corbett, because of course in our final coming up today, we have firstly a round with it's meat v in both rounds. So I think that's kind of gonna work. Let's have a think about these provinces. It's I can't tell you, chat, how distracting Ludi is with moving this thing around. Like, I'm here, I'm trying to commentate, I'm trying to get this stuff in, but it's really hard because I'm just thinking, why the hell does this man have baguettes? Ludi,
Are you discriminating
yourself.
against my baguettes? I'm confused, Krista. What's going on here?
I'm not discriminating against the baguettes. I like baguettes. I want to know why are they on my screen?
Oh, I see. So I'm just a baguette to you. Is that what you're trying to say here?
Good lord. All right. Thankfully, we're in the game, so I can stop this farce. So, the challenge is picked. We've got 6 for each player. Now, sorry, it's not true. We have 5 for each player. Now, that's a bit low compared to some previous rounds, but it's worth... No, we do have 6. Sorry, I just can't count. Okay, so we have 6 for Chewy, 5 for Lady Saffron. That's how I was making the mistake. Okay, so this is obviously a little bit on the lower side in terms of challenges, but it's worth noting that it's going to be more difficult than normal simply because they've been able to ban challenges, right? Meaning they've been able to knock out a lot of the easy ones.
I think Chewy did a really good job with banning the extremely easy ones because, I mean, let's face it, those were definitely going to get picked if either one or the other didn't ban them, right? So it's an interesting new dynamic. I think this should have been in from the beginning, but obviously it's the first season, right?
Best
the draft,
best time is yesterday, second best time is right now, all that kind of thing. Absolutely. Exactly. So immediately we're seeing Chewy pushing for his independence from Denmark. I don't know why he'd want to do that. As anyone in the Speed 5 offices will tell you, Swedes are most happy when they are reporting up to Danes,
yes,
and owing their allegiance as they should. Yeah,
this is true. Commonly known.
This is just me trying to make certain that I'm not invited back. But so he's already got Lithuania, Burgundy, England, and France supporting. And he got a 1-4 general from that event. Honestly, looking pretty freaking good for Chewy right now.
That's a really good event, yeah. The general he's got right now. That's going to make a big difference in the wars to come.
Absolutely. And here's the rebellion event that gives him the choice around what he wants there. Nice stuff. So, let's get the challenges up if we can. I hope we can. Excellent. And take a look here. So Chewy, and by Chewy I mean Ludi. I know that you always tell me that they can all be completed, and you are usually wrong. But talk to me about Chewy's set here.
So, do we still allow the whole restarting as a nation? Unless that's the big question now.
It's true. We didn't actually do any specific rule changes for this. We didn't want to do it at this kind of late stage in the...
Because, like, if we allow it, then 25 inflation is literally 1 restart in, like, 2 minutes. Then production leader of 2 goods, 50 revanchism. Personal union is done in a 20 minutes game, regular game as Sweden, as is the 15 coastal provinces from a couple of wars against the Danes and so on, right? Fill force limit to cavalry, again, 1 restart with 2 minutes, 3 minutes is enough. So
let's assume that our players are being a little bit chivalric today, and there's less of that. Based on trying to play normally, it does get more tricky.
Then it's still easy to do. At the end of the run, he can just fill the force limit with cavalry.
The difficulty with that is you have to find yourself at the end of the run with enough manpower to fill your force limit. Now that seems to me pretty tricky.
I mean, yeah, that is a good point. Well, what you could do is make yourself a 1 province minor. And then...
You could. True, if you could crush your own force limit at the end. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is a very good point. I think...
So, he can combine revanchism with the cavalry a bit towards the end if he really wants to.
He could. Just checking in on Lady Saffron here, getting things started. Ethiopia, obviously a strong start. Tends to... The difficulty spike for Ethiopia tends to be the Mamluks, right? Early game, unifying the Horn of Africa, pretty easy. And then only when you need to deal with Mamluks or Ottomans do you get any kind of, that's when the big players show up. Until then, you're basically the bully, much larger than
Ethiopia,
your neighbors.
in 1.35, things have actually changed for Ethiopia a lot.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Not necessarily directly, but indirectly they've changed. There's no actual changes to Ethiopia themselves, but in 1.35, a lot of the times the Mamluks get their asses handed to them by the Ottomans by the 1455.
It's true, that is much earlier, yeah.
So because of that, what normally happens is by the time Ethiopia unifies its home region and maybe gets into a War-Sanglia and so on, after she's done with all of those bits, she can march into what's left of the Mamluks after they've been crushed by the Ottomans, essentially. Although that can also backfire if the Ottomans use the event for the invasion, but that's after the 60s because they need to have one initial war to get the provinces in Syria in order to actually be able to get the event triggered after they occupy the capital of the Mamluks.
Thinking about her objectives, unified culture group, that shouldn't be too difficult. I'm assuming you have EU4 up as normal, so
yeah. The culture group's the easiest bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
55% Crownlands, doable as well. Takes a little bit of management, but it's doable.
Makes restarting much less viable unless you're going to do the restarting right at the end.
Yeah. For age objectives is easy to do as well. You pretty much start with just a few years into the campaign, you can get a few done. Violently enforce a religion upon another nation. There's so many different religion nations, like fetishists in one of those small nations she just attacked right now. She can just enforce the religion, but I'm guessing she's going for full annexation, right? It's probably going to enforce religion on somebody around outside of her culture group, let's say.
I'm liking to see the speed that Lady Saffron's playing at the moment. This is worthy of the final, honestly. Stuff's going through. She isn't using C to dismiss events, which is heresy, but she's going through it quickly nonetheless.
I'd say that her main issue is going to be that she's going to be left with time and no objectives to do, and she's going to regret not having trying to
well, it's interesting.
More objectives.
To an extent, I think this is indicative of the play of both players throughout the tournament, and we'll go to Chewy's perspective here, where we're going, oh, look at that. What good timing. Carl, very nice. Ludi, okay, fair enough. I take that personally, but okay, the war here progressing not
so
wonderfully.
I'm just gonna say I'm on Chewy's side right now. Totally not biased.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't really hold that against you at this stage, but yeah, chat asking, does Ludi like hunting?
Oh God,
what do you think? What do you think?
No, please stay away from windows and no hunting, please, for the foreseeable future.
So yeah, going pretty well for Chewy. Look at that. Stack wiping
that
with
was a
his
stack
A,
wipe.
managing to push south really
I think that was pretty much the entirety of their army. I'm not seeing anything anywhere around, so it's just a carpet sieging right now at this point.
Very nice. Now, to think a little bit about how they've taken these different challenges. So we got 5 for Lady Saffron, 6 for Chewy. And this is it's a personality that they've both built up throughout the competition so far. We've seen Chewy often, not last week and not in the first week, not so much in the second week, but often biting off a little bit more than he can chew. I'm not saying that's what he's done here, but he sometimes was finding himself, pushing a little bit harder than perhaps he should. And that has been punished for it, whereas Lady Saffron has very consistently taken a number she's able to achieve, and that's what's carried her to having, of course, today points are reset. We're into the finals, but up till now, she had a dramatically higher score, despite the fact that the actual, relative quality of play in their games was quite similar. It's not that Chewy's been doing really badly, it's just that he's always been a tiny bit overestimating. And the question, of course, is has he done the same again?
I would say that the objectives that he picked today are very doable. Like before, he had some objectives that would have been very RNG based, but the ones he picked today are not necessarily RNG based. I mean, you literally just need to win a couple of wars to get the provinces, for example, right?
Sure.
What else? Can we go back to the objectives?
We can indeed, yeah. So coastal provinces, not that bad. Personal union, he has a mission for Norway.
Exactly, yes. Then you also have fill the force limit and inflation. Like I said, it's a few minutes at the end of his run.
Yeah, they're not too bad.
Or a new restart if he wants to. I think production leader of 2 goods might be a little bit difficult, but he's got the copper mine,
right?
Exactly, in Dallas Kogan. So that one gives, I don't remember exactly, I think like +1, +2, +3 goods produced per upgrade or something like that. Chat can correct us.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful.
And revanchism is literally just to lose one war, and you pretty much have what you need to get that objective as well. So you could combine the revanchism with the cavalry at the end, like do a war against, say, Muscovy or something of the sorts, right? Which is likely going to border him, and you can get both of those done.
Boom. There it is.
You got the independence. We should
And
probably exit the objective.
Beautiful, yeah, new beautiful king to complement his wonderful heir. I really feel like the king should be named after me. Where's the even-handedness? And then in terms of... Oh, it's a good point. I'm kind of glad he didn't take 2 starting rivals, because of course as a subject he had no starting rivals, so I'm not quite sure how that would have worked, but no one took that, so that's all right. But yeah, Chewy looking extremely strong here. I feel like some of the challenges he's taken, if you're doing it all in one run, it's interesting because he couldn't have added that many more. Like the things like revanchism and inflation, they start to make things difficult for you when you're doing them, when you're trying to, you know, cluster too many things at the end. But I agree, I think he's looking in a very strong position. And of course, remember that with 5 to 6 picks, in order for Lady Saffron to win, she has to get, you know, there are many potential combinations, but the likeliest one probably is she gets all 5 and Chewy gets only 5 out of 6. Because of course, if he can get 5 out of 6, wow, look at that speed of consolidation. Very, very nice. Only 10 minutes in here. If she can get all 5 and he gets all 6, you know, there's nothing she can do. She's taken this much safer play. She's
definitely taken the safer approach for sure. Like she can get 5, that's not an issue. I think what it's going to come down really is whether Chewy can get that 6th objective, namely the goods produced, in my opinion, which is the one that would take the highest out of him, right? So you could get, I'm assuming it's going to be iron and copper, but I don't know, maybe he's got plans for another secondary trade good aside from copper. What do you think he's going to go for?
Yes, I'm not sure, really. There's quite a lot of fish if he integrates Norway, but he's not going to do that. He'd have to then conquer it. Not sure. I mean, he could push east into Novgorod and get furs quite easily. If he was able to get that ahead of...
Furs would work, but he'd have to have a pretty sizable war with the Muscovites, because a lot of furs are in Muscovite lands.
Yeah, he'd have to be going over, but...
Yeah. That wouldn't be easy, and I'm not sure I don't know. Let's see. Maybe he will definitely go for that. I'm not sure, though, that he's, going to risk the whole run just to get a couple of extra furs from Muscovy when there's easier alternatives, really.
Yeah. What would be the second one you would go for, then, do you reckon?
Oh, that's a tough one. So, obviously, the first one would be copper, right? Because of the Dallas Kogan mine. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that seems easy.
The second one, so iron, they don't have too much. They have a little bit iron, but not as much as, say, Ming, for example.
Yeah, Chat's been talking about that. One of the interesting things they're saying there is basically you go iron and then you hope for a Ming explosion. Pretty likely. Speed 5 in an hour.
That is a really good point. Yes, that is
kind of risky, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that. I would say furs is most likely the second good, though. If he manages to get Novgorod lands before the Muscovites, though. That's a big deal, though. Because as far as I know, production leader at the beginning of the game of furs is Novgorod. So that means as long as he gets...
all of it.
Not all. He does need to.
I mean, all of the fur provinces,
northern bits is fur as well. He's got a lot of fur provinces, too. He would have to get the big fur-producing cities. He would have to get Novgorod city itself and a couple of the 4 production development cities like, say, Ladoga... or, well, I wanted to say Arkhangelsk, but that doesn't apply until they get the event from Novgorod. So I would say 4 or 5 provinces, including Novgorod, is enough to get furs.
So and look at this. He's hovering over fur. Right now, Norway is the fur leader.
Yeah, they start as the fur leader in Norway.
And he's deving fish, so it looks like I am right there. Not wanting to risk going for the big expense on the monument. That's fair enough. It's fair enough.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now, Chewy, I can reveal, has completed the very first challenge of the final in history. He has filled his force limit with cavalry. So he's done that one. Chose to do that early, interestingly. Perhaps when he has a truce and some big alliances, meaning he's feeling safe, not needing to do a big war right away, just focusing on fixing his economy. He's switched stuff over to the Burgard loans. Love to see that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Switching over to the Burgard loan so he pays less. I'm guessing his country's expanded a little bit, so he's paying off some of the older loans.
Yes,
well, if he's going to go for fish, he would be able to get a lot of fish from the Danish, like 4 or 5
Oh, he's got
provinces.
copper already. That's my mistake. It looks like he's
he starts
considering.
with it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's considering. I think he may have devved it a tiny bit, but it looks like he's considering doing fish or furs, depending on which was easier.
No. I think
fish.
Sweden starts as production leader of copper.
Nice.
Because
Okay. Great
the
nation
Dallas
pick then.
Kogan fur mine starts as a +3 goods produced one. So eventually it goes to +9. +3 equals to 15 production development for copper. So he has 17 production development for copper. And you got to realize that copper is one good that most nations have 1 or 2 provinces of. I think that second after him would be Muscovy or something like that, which has like 2 copper provinces, or maybe someone in Asia that I'm not sure about really. So there you go. I guess he's going for furs or fish as the secondary one. He's probably getting fish as a backup in case he cannot get the fur provinces from Novgorod, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think I'm not certain if this is just chat making a joke or if you misspoke, but I do like the idea of a fur mine.
Oh yeah, fur mines they're everywhere in the world.
That's actually I don't know if how many of chat have played this, but in the Mayor and Taxes mod, that was actually a thing for a while. You built mines to extract ivory. So I'm just really liking the idea of all these ivory mines going around.
Where do you think babies grow in, Christo? Come on, man. They grow in mines. Everybody knows this. Just like fur, just like
I thought
grain.
the stork delivered them. Oh, but I suppose where does the stork come from?
That's the
you mine them.
Yeah, they come from the mines. Just
that makes sense.
Keep up. Come on, Christo.
I know. It's in this rapidly changing modern scientific world. It's difficult to always track, you know.
Yeah, that is correct.
Let's take a look at Lady Saffron's position. The challenging ones for her, I mean, there's some that are essentially do well, right? Just have a good campaign. That's culture group. That's violently enforced religion. That should be fairly doable. Obviously, she's got a relatively obscure religion down as Coptic Ethiopia. So there's going to be lots of people for her to that she can enforce religion on. Bear in mind that it is violently enforced. So enforcing religion through the vassal interface does not count.
So here's the thing, right? I'm not sure why she took Beja and the northern bit, because her culture group's in the south. And I would have kept the northern bits as buffers just in case the Mamluks decide to go south a little bit. But then again, they are easy to conquer provinces, so I also understand why she'd go for that.
Okay. Interesting. And there we go. Production leader of 2 goods is established for Chewy. Good lord, this man is roaring through his challenges. 15 coastal provinces also done. That absolutely
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
May find themselves wishing they'd taken more challenges. But of course, if you're Chewy and Lady Saffron stops picking, there's no reason to pick more, right? Because this is not points for anything. This is just points to be in the top half. And this would be a heck of an underdog story for Chewy, because of course, not to say that he's known as being less good at Lady Saffron than Lady Saffron, but he came into this with, what was it, less than half her points, having had some really bad early weeks, just getting very unlucky, falling into the noob track that is Lithuania, all these kind of situations. But seeming like he's going to manage to pull it out of here. I think he's shaking his head. Are you listening to me? You listening to me? You're listening to me, Chewy.
Damn, did you just call the man a noob? I cannot believe
it. No. I said he fell into a noob trap. It's the difference between saying someone is an idiot and they did something stupid.
I see where your loyalties lie.
Yeah. Go for the alliance with Poland. Okay. What's his I mean, his war needs now, right, are Norway. What's he got to do to get to that mission? That's what I'm wondering now, because that seems like the difficult bit. Crown of Norway is after Finland. Top left.
Let me check. So, Crown of Finland? Crown of Norway, you mean, right?
Crown of Norway, I do. It's after a mission about Finland, I believe.
Yeah. So he needs to have a couple previous missions done, and he needs to have all the Scaniland area as cores. Pretty sure he does have that, no? Yeah, he does. Event Fate of Scaniland, and he gains Casus Belli on Denmark, claim the Norwegian crown. Got to be something else in there that I'm not aware of, maybe. Or maybe he already has and he's just waiting for the truce to finish with the Danes. Are you still there, Crystal? Yeah, he needs a Swedish skinny land, so Slavik, yeah, true. So he's got the skinny land province.
Oh my lord, I did it again. Hello. How long have I been muted? I'm sorry. I actually came back, like you said, are you still there? And I attempted to unmute and went, oh my god, I've been muted, and I just completely failed to unmute.
I thought the VTubers had you, bro. I thought the VTubers
I'm sorry, I'm still here. But yeah, taking a look at what Chewy's got, he's only got personal union, revanchism, and inflation. As you said, revanchism and inflation, you do them late, right? They're interesting. You know, it's going to be
the PU. He needs to just attack. He needs to wait for the truce with the Danes. That's it. I'm pretty sure he's got it because he just needs to have the cores on Scaniland. And he needs to be independent. He's got to have declare independence and Engelbrecht rebellion, which he's got, right? So
yep, he has.
He just needs to wait for the truce with the Danes to finish. Once that's done, he's gonna get the PU over the Norwegians.
Nice.
And then he can just do the remaining inflation and revanchism. So he's gonna lose a war against somebody, let's say.
So chat is asking why Lady Saffron only has 5 challenges where Chewy has 6. So let me explain a little bit about how this format works for those of you who are just working us. What happens is, in this round, our players are presented by 30 challenges. They are then allowed to pick up to 10 each. But it's up to them how many they pick. And picking too many is dangerous, because if you pick a challenge you don't manage to complete, you lose 2 points, whereas completing a challenge you do pick only gets you 1 point rather. Now, the added wrinkle this time is that our players were able to ban challenges as well as pick them. So what happened there is that Chewy either picked or banned a lot of the challenges that Lady Saffron had planned to try and do herself. And so she chose to go with fewer. Now that's obviously challenging, because it puts her in a position where even if she does as well as she can now, Chewy does have the capability to beat her, and it looks like he's very much on track to do that.
We should switch over to Lady Saffron for a little bit.
We should. So the news on Lady Saffron's perspective is that, as you can see, there has been a restart. So this is not a restart to do a challenge like super quickly, but it was.
Has she done any objectives so far?
She has done no challenges, so it was not
really?
Yes, there have been none done yet. So it's going to be challenging.
She had a really good run. What happened? I'm actually confused now.
Yeah, so let's have a quick talk to Lady Saffron actually, and get the word from her. Lady Saffron, we're devastated. We're concerned. It's 22 minutes in. Talk to us about how you're feeling.
I'm a little worried. I didn't realize some stuff, and I think I've made several mistakes, and I'm not sure if there's one that I can even do. The force convert one, because you apparently can't force convert other religions. I did not realize that was a thing. I
believe it's heretics that you are allowed to force convert.
Yep.
Which don't exist in this region. Would you count it if I forcibly vassalized them and then changed it through that? They wouldn't like it, and it's not exactly like a
it would specifically not count, I'm afraid. You are going to have to find yourself a Christian.
Oh dear.
It doesn't say, I will say, it doesn't say how, just says violent.
It's
that's
true.
Pretty violent.
The violent bit is the enforcing of the religion, as opposed to setting up a scenario where you can diplomatically change the religion. That was why it was. Why the violence.
It does raise their liberty desire. I will say it does raise their liberty desire, so they don't like it.
It's true, but I think a lot of people make me annoyed, aka raise my liberty desire, without being violent. I would say.
All right, then I'll. Oof, I guess I can't do that one, but I'll figure it out.
I don't know. You've still got 37 minutes to Europe with you, what I say.
Remember, for age objectives, you can also get present on 2 continents easily, since Asia's at your doorsteps.
Oh, yes, I can. Oh.
There you go.
But that's not the one that I need.
Which one are you struggling with?
Well, right now it's the religion, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I can't force convert because they're not heretics.
I think it's time to head north. There's a whole bunch of heretics up there that need to learn the truth. The other alternative, I mean, we're giving, at this point, we're giving tips, but I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind giving tips to someone in a position where not to spoil it for you, but Chewy does already have 3 challenges completed. But you could also cease to be Coptic. Is the simple solution to enforcing religion. If you can only enforce religion on heretics, time to find a new class of
You
heretics.
could
Is what it
say,
sounds
for
like.
example, release yourself as Semian and convert your Alodian neighbors in a restart. Just saying.
Now that sounds like a really hard way to do it. But
No,
anyway,
it's-
I
we've
don't
talked
think that's-
enough,
yeah.
Lady Saffron.
All right.
We will let you
I'll
focus.
figure it
All the
out.
very best of luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So, I mean, yeah, there's various options available to her, but we'll see. Oh my God, Chewy right now has a 10-year regency for Ludi.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh,
no,
boy.
Ludi died. What happened to Ludi?
Oh no.
What happened to Ludi?
I told
Excuse
them
me,
to keep
Chewy.
them
What
away
happened to
from,
Ludi? Explain yourself.
Go hunting?
Well, Speed 5, I'll be honest, Speed 5, I don't even actually know what happened. He just disappeared. I didn't even see it happen. I just
I guess-
looked and I saw Johann Vasa had died, and then I saw that my guy was of House York, so I was laughing about that. And then he died, and I had like an event, and it said, so this person would become leader. I didn't know that it meant they would become consort, so I got rid of my queen consort via event, not even realizing it. So,
Fantastic.
so we're chilling. But take a look at this. Take a look at this. My this CB here ends in December
Yeah.
of 1470, and
Yeah.
this where's it say here? July of 1470. So it's
Oh
like super
my
close,
God. Okay.
super close to getting screwed out of one. I would have been so salty.
That is unbelievably close.
I panicked when I first realized what had happened. I'm like, oh no, did I just like completely
I
blown
believe
myself from one of my challenges?
I believe
This is all
it. I
calculated.
believe
You know,
it.
this is all calculated. I know exactly what I'm
Absolutely.
doing at all times. So
You needed a period of peace to recenter yourself.
Yeah,
Plus, you had to
needed
get that
like 20
Ludi guy
years.
out of government.
oh, I'm so sad. He was so good. He was so good.
He
He
was.
was like a
We switched
5,
back to your
6,
perspective
5 or
just
something.
as you were shaking the event around. It was very good timing.
yeah. I saw it on the VMix. Good. It's good. Well, we'll make it happen.
All right.
I'll try to do something
Mhm.
interesting for you guys. I promise.
No, that's all good. That's all good. We like the idea of watching you squirm too, so it's no problem. No problem.
So boring.
Good luck, Chewy. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
All right. So they're going off. It's true. As a good point, chat. He should definitely go and try and PU England because he's got York now. That definitely seems like a good idea. All right, so he's going to be at speed 5 for the next 5 years. So let's keep our eyes right now on Lady Saffron. It looks like she's attempting to switch religion to Sunni, but unfortunately, she needs to do it in a province that doesn't have nationalism. Or Ludi, you might be able to help me a little bit with this. To get it to be religious rebels, there has to be more nationalism from religious intolerance plus missionary active than there is from nationalism. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, fair enough. Look at this guy.
Something like that.
I mean,
She just needs to get 50% of her provinces of that particular religion. 50%
it's true. That would
plus
be
one,
an
so
easy,
that
relatively
would be
easy,
the
right?
easiest way
Lots
to
of
get it,
Sunni
right?
provinces east of her. Yeah.
She could literally just go into the south because she needs to unify the culture group, right? I wouldn't even go into the north right now if I was her. Just go kill out Adal or Sanglia, and the other ones I don't know the name of, Ajuran, right? Ogadin, and then afterwards you have probably 70% Sunni provinces once you've unified your culture group. So you can literally just accept the demands of the religious rebels whenever they appear in your screen. They don't even need to even spawn on the map itself.
Yeah. If you get up to the actual 50% of development, as we established the other week. As we know, this show is kind of what do we say? 30% high octane esports, 30% like crazy plays and weird country picks, and 40% the casters learning things about a game they've played for a collective like 14,000 hours or something.
Yeah.
So the
that's
push
the
north
beauty about
here,
it.
into Alodia. I think this is that's Dongla. Where is her age objectives coming from? Do we think?
So for her age objectives, the easiest ones would be to get a 30 development province, present on 2 continents from taking a province in Yemen, which is technically Asia, right?
Sure.
And then humiliate rival. I'm assuming that would be Ajuran or Adal. I assume that she literally can start with Adal as a rival from day one, right? So that's
Yes.
easy humiliation war.
Mm-hmm.
And she can even get some of their provinces in the process. It doesn't have to be a show of strength or anything of the sorts. And what else is there? That's pretty much it, right? Did I miss anything?
I don't believe so.
Oh, no, I did miss one. Either centers of trade, or she can get Renaissance. She could spawn in Renaissance.
Oh, sorry, you mean you missed one from the age objectives?
Age objectives. Because she starts with the 655, and she gets another event later down the line that gives her another insanely overpowered high mana points leader as an heir. So she will have the mana points to dev up a province to infinity, let's face it.
Yep, definitely putting herself in a very, very strong very strong situation there. I feel like the Crownlands, she's gonna struggle with the Crownland if she had to restart again. So basically, this has to be the run.
Yes, I think the Crownland she's not gonna get, to be honest with you. Oh no, I'm wrong. If she doesn't take up, she quickly expands and she just uses the mana points for deving up, she will get the Crownlands as well. Because
there's going to be a point where she'd want to stop expanding, though, right? Because as soon as her Crownland on average is higher than the person she's conquering, it's going to become negative.
Yeah, it's going to,
which is kind of a counterbalance against the desire to conquer Sunni lands. So it's difficult because those are kind of competing goals.
But that's the thing; she needs to conquer to unify her culture group. So she has to conquer a lot of nations to the south.
Yeah,
she should stop going into the north altogether, in my opinion.
It is control, though. So it's for Unite Your Culture Group on this challenge, you don't have to own the provinces, I believe. Just validate that I'm right, I'm pretty sure. What you're aiming to do is, control the provinces. So vassal would be enough for that.
Oh, is it? I thought you had to own it directly.
It's because you're thinking of that because that's the age objective in the Age of Reformation.
I'm pretty sure we asked for direct ownership in the previous runs. Did we not?
I don't think so. You're thinking of control all of a. You're thinking of own all of a trade node, which is
might have been trade node. Yes, I think it might have been trade node. You're right.
Hydrogenia, thank you so much. We did, yeah. Thank you, Hydrogenia, for the gift sub. Much appreciated. To Lady Saffron, there we go. All the inspiration she should need to push forward and get this third place. The medal, the place on the podium. I should mention that if you're enjoying the show, then it's a great thing to follow. You can get notified when we have new wonderful content coming up for you. We got more EU4, we got Hoy, we got all kinds of great Paradox content coming out. Following is a great way to support, as of course is subscribing if you want to support us make more content going forwards.
Subscribe or we turn you into a map tuber. Just saying.
Right. It seems like, and there we go. The Norwegian PU is established for Chewy. Nice. The man is tearing through his objectives. Now all he has to do is nation ruin, basically, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not necessarily nation ruin, just give away some of your provinces, really.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be completely.
The question
the 25
is,
inflation
who is he going to give it
thinking.
to, and why is it Novgorod? I mean, he can easily get 100% war score in Novgorod and then just give them the provinces that he wants to give them, let's face it. He seems to be going for inflation first, though.
Seems like it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't need to be in a good position on inflation in order to
He's probably
your
gonna
revanchism up, so...
Yeah.
This is a very strong performance from Chewy, though. It looks like he's going to be achieving all 6 of his challenges in the first kind of 40 minutes, leaving himself a nice little cushion of time and very much putting the pressure on Lady Saffron. Obviously, if he does complete all 6 of his challenges, then Lady Saffron is not going to be able to catch up, but she can, of course, acquit herself magnificently.
She is going to struggle a little bit with the points for sure. He's basically got this in the bag, let's face it. 27 minutes and he's pretty much done all of the objectives.
All right, well, with that being the case, let's keep our eyes on Lady Saffron. So if you had to guess right now, she still has 0 age objectives completed. Sorry, 0, not 0 age objectives, 0 overall objectives completed. A difficult position to be in at this stage. Is there a way that she gets all 5 still? And what do you think is the biggest obstacle?
Let's see the objectives first. I think other people might have forgotten totally. I did not forget all of them, I swear.
No, other people.
Yeah, other people.
You wouldn't know them. They live in another city.
It's chat. Chat's to be blamed, really. Violently enforce a religion upon another nation. That one we've already discussed is, it is what it is. But he can still do vassalization of a 10-province nation because Juron's got 11 provinces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there you go. 11 provinces. No, that's 10. It's actually exactly 10. Never mind. I'm bad with mathematics. I'm totally a VTuber right now. So that would play into her own your culture group, right? Because she could vassalize the entire culture group, I guess. She doesn't need to, like you said earlier, she doesn't need to directly own it. She can, as long as it's controlled by her, as in vassals war.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So she could do a quick war against Adal, but stop stalling, merc up, and declare the freaking wars already.
Yeah. I mean, the risk with this right now is Adal
like, it's
obviously could
literally-
stop
it's
being
time
a rival.
to declare the wars. Doesn't matter. It's okay, just go. And yeah, go for that. And then if you really need to, go for a death war with the Mamelukes and get your humiliation from that one, the rival humiliation from that war. You really need to. And leave that for last, which is going to cut it a little bit close, but better than just not doing it, because then you've basically thrown in the towel.
I think, here we go. The war getting declared. Let's focus in here.
Not Adal. Juron's got 10 provinces.
Yes, Ajuran was the one that Zloic used for the same challenge, of course, back in the day as Kilwa. So, very much on our players' radar. Let's take a look at Chewy. I'm hoping we're going to arrive to a nation being destroyed. No, going for Novgorod. You were talking about conquering land from Novgorod. What's the idea here?
So you get 100% war score on your targeted nation. If you get 100% score, then you can offer them whatever you want to offer, and they have to accept, because they lost the war, so they have to, take whatever you give them.
Sure. That makes perfect sense. So I have
That's
to
how
imagine
you
that's what I'm about to see.
that's how you enforce religion upon yourself in wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very beneficial strat to work. I thought that had been fixed for religion specifically, but I'm it's entirely possibly I'm misremembering.
It's not.
Okay, interesting. And there we go. 100% war score, meaning Chewy can offer whatever he wants. Oh.
Boring. Since when? I just learned
I didn't know that either.
Wait, what?
They have unconditionally
You can't
surrendered, and
offer
therefore he
tribute if
can't
you
offer them anything.
Oh, they unconditionally surrendered.
What is this anti-cheese garbage? Well, I guess I'll add him to my collection.
The first world problems of being
Come
unable
on, man, I'm
to
trying to
lose
cheese over
wars.
here. I'm trying to cheese
Chewy.
over here.
God, does he really deserve third place? Can't even lose a war to the AI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no.
new. I never knew about that one, to be honest.
I feel foolish now. I didn't even know.
No, I
Well.
had to be honest. I mean, neither of us knew, so we can't talk. But
Yeah.
fine.
good luck.
We'll do
Good luck.
this.
Looking
No.
good.
Thank you.
Time to make Riga big.
That is pretty funny. Completely unable to lose a war. But yeah, here we go. Just declaring random wars now, going after Riga and all Riga's allies. It'd be pretty funny if his allies managed to win it. Did he call in Burgundy? It looks like he did. That would be very entertaining. Revanchism, it has to be your land that's lost, right? It doesn't count if it's
I think
Or
it
kind of
counts if it's
subjects
your
land.
vassal. Just if it's your PU, it counts as far as I know. Because I remember as a
interesting.
Poland, I used to give out Lithuania's lands, and I would get revanchism.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a few patches ago. I haven't tested it this patch, so
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. You can still cheese it if you offer the peace before they unconditionally surrender, which is usually during the month
Yeah,
of Flock,
yeah,
which is
it
month-
works
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
didn't unconditionally surrender.
Sure. He does not have any revanchism. He released nations rather than ceding provinces. Jury, my
Bro,
guy.
I'm so confused. You don't get revenge
No,
from
you have,
releasing nations?
you have to give the provinces. It must not be released.
Unfortunate.
It has to be given provinces.
Unfortunate. I didn't even know. I did not even know.
That is,
Well, now I feel foolish.
this is a comedy of errors, I have to say.
Here we go. You ready
he's
for
got
this?
time. He's got 22 minutes.
He's got. All right,
There
we're
you
off there. And we're looking at Lady Saffron here, but it seems pretty unlikely. Archie has switched to Jewish.
Hey!
Jewish
She
doesn't
did
really
the
help,
Samian
though, does
strat.
it?
No, it does. She can attack Beja, and then she can just enforce religion on them.
Oh, are they
There you
a
go.
Jewish? Are they heretical to Judaism?
They should be, right?
I don't know. I don't think I've
Because
ever played.
Jewish,
Beja.
because Christians are heretics to Jews. Oh no, Beja Sunni, right?
Are they?
I'm not. I think it's Sunni.
Is
Beja.
Judaism is a? Oh no, you're right. I can see it. Judaism is considered
Yeah.
in the same. That's weird. Why is that? Anyway, but Beja, yeah, I don't think they start
Beja is Sunni,
Christian.
so
Yeah.
that's an issue. She would have to do Makuria, which starts Makuria is Sunni also. She would have to do somebody next to her, like Alodia.
Let's take a look at
why didn't
Chewy's
she just
perspective
restart
here.
though? Do it
I don't
from
know.
the get-go.
I don't know. I guess she has got the 55% Crownland.
Oh, that's
there
why
we
she didn't
go.
restart.
51% revanchism.
Hello,
Finally
boys.
managed to do it. And I can reveal that Lady Saffron has GG'd. In this situation, it is impossible for her to win. So that does make a lot of sense. But that is a very short semi-final round, and we see Chewy stomping his way into third place.
Yep. He did really, really good in this one.
Yeah,
think
taking
he
a look at
played
the
it
challenges
super well.
here, we were talking about Chewy sometimes slightly going above and beyond. Clearly not the case here. Doing precisely what was needed. This is actually what we saw Lady Saffron do in the previous week, which is pick precisely the number of challenges needed to win. It's a winning strategy.
Yeah,
It's a winning strategy. Yeah. And there we have it. The third... What in God's name is going on? That is...
Remember, I
the
got
third
this
place
inherited,
pick.
so
I don't get it, but that's okay. So
these guys
we
are
saw
here to take me
Chewy.
away. But they said I could stay for a little while before they take me.
Fair enough. We saw there Chewy come back. He's had some terrible rounds in previous weeks. He managed to pull himself back up, secure that place in the third round match, do very, very nicely, and managed to secure himself the bronze medal. Congratulations are certainly due to Chewy. It's a devastating result.
Running away from here, they cannot take me.
Devastating result, of course, for Lady Saffron, who had such a consistent performance. Hello.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it turns out consistency is great up till the point when your opponent stop failing.
Yeah, that's certainly one way of looking at it. And then a couple of key misplays just bringing it all down. And it looks like there is only one chance left for the VTubers, because we now have 1 point for MeatTubers and 1 round left.
And I think we should point out here, right, of course, is that Chewy managed to get all of his 6 quests, Lady Saffron sitting at 1, but of course, even if she were to spend the time needed to get the other 4 quests in time, it wouldn't have mattered. She would have still lost to Chewy. So GGing when Chewy got the 6 points makes sense.
Yes,
not necessary.
Fair enough.
It's it's not as necessarily as bad as it looks, but other than, like you said, really well played by Chewy.
Absolutely.
Definitely really well played. Yeah.
That's
Very
a lovely
impressive.
nod, by the way, Ludi. I like your nod. Very
you.
good.
And yeah, as Corbett was saying, maybe it's a play from Lady Saffron simply to make him hurry up and finish designing his strategy for the final. Because apparently, conversations there are very much ongoing. I don't think we've actually mentioned today, but our players only get 1 hour with the challenge board. And the challenge board today featured a number of subscriber suggestions that they'd never seen before. I should also mention, if you want to be involved in giving your own subscriber suggestions, the Discord is a fantastic place to be. Open to our Twitch subs, our channels where we talk about stuff like that. And there is EU4 content coming up, which we will be involving some subscriber suggestions and feedback and stuff in. It's a good place to be.
We'll announce some of the All-Star stuff at the end of this stream. Chris Ludi, I will talk to you in a bit. Right now, I have to go talk to our players. Congratulations, Chewy.
Thank
well
you.
played. Commiserations, Lady Saffron. It didn't go as planned.
Leo, do you want your luck back? Yeah. No, I got such bad luck. I don't even know what happened there. Like, I got enforced pieced by the Mamluks when I tried to declare on a doll. And then, like,
It's
I
the
don't
most
even
infuriating AI mechanic
It
I've
is. Oh my
especially
God.
I've had it happen to me many times playing in that region in Mamluks, or like whenever having France enforce peace on you when you're playing Austria or something like that. It's
Yeah.
so infuriating.
No, this is honestly, I think what happened is Cleo wasn't here to like soak up all the bad luck. So it fell on me, the other VTuber. So, yeah, all right, you know. Good game though on your part. You got them all, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually the first time I've ever gotten all of them. So
Yeah, you managed to get all of them. So even if you kept playing,
turns out Sweden is actually a little overpowered.
You're welcome, Chewy.
Thank you. It's definitely not biased, though. It's not biased.
They're 100% not biased, and 100% that was a legit coin toss that made sure that you got the scales.
We didn't talk about me playing Sweden beforehand.
No, of course not. Of course not.
That was a bad omen. That should have been a sign.
Yeah, I think, Lady Saffron, your mistake there was not recognizing that Chewy wasn't as unlucky as he usually is when he won the coin toss, and so you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it happens. It happens to the best of them. Before I let you go, how did you guys feel about the ban feature that we added for the bronze?
I liked it
so much.
See, I liked it because at this point in the series, we have like an understanding of each other's play style for the most part. At least if you've watched other people play, and I've watched all of the matches back. Being a subscriber, which you guys, if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually subscribe to the channel for free if you don't know that. So something to consider. Yeah. But so I've watched back all of them. So it's like I kind of knew generally what her thought process is when picking. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go with ones that I'm not going to go for. Obviously I'm not super competitive, so I wasn't trying to screw you over, but I was like, well, I'm not going to use this. She might, so I'll just get rid of it. Nothing personal, I promise.
Yeah.
Only love.
I have before every match, I have an index card and I write down a little bingo card of all the challenges I want. And this is the first time more than half of them have been like just completely off the table. I had 11 on this one and I was able to do 5.
Yeah, it's rough when it happens, but once again, it has been a pleasure watching you both play, Chewy and Lady Saffron. Hopefully we can see you soon in a future show, but for now, once again, Chewy, congratulations for the 3rd place. Congratulations to you, Lady Saffron, but well played throughout. Thank you guys so much for taking part.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate
Thanks for having us.
And that is shockingly the end of our first segment here at the grand final of the draft. But rest assured, the big event, the grand final, is coming up next. It's Corbett versus Slevik in a 2-game all-out brawl.